we allow you to connect your AI agent to the top premium financial podcasts and newsletters so that you can use that as context whenever somebody accesses a podcast transcript or a newsletter through Drip. Behind the scenes, the creator of that content is actually getting paid on a pay-per-use basis as agents use their content. You have people like Citrini and Michael Burry and Lynn Alden and all these guys. They move markets, right? They publish a stock, it's up 10% the next day. I think the world is going to end up where everybody has like only 3 apps on their phone. I find myself spending my entire day in Claude, Codex, all of these apps. Everything I do is through them. I don't go to websites anymore. I don't browse. I'll give the website to my agent to go figure out what to do, but like I won't do it myself. And if that's the case, then yeah, 100% of internet traffic will be via an AI agent of some form.
Well, everyone, welcome to another episode of Wrap Up Podcast. Today, I'm joined by Michael Blau, founder of Drip. To start with, Michael, I think it's best if you explain what you guys are building at Drip and also give a bit of information about your background.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, first of all, thanks, Sam, for having me. Definitely excited to be here. I know we've been communicating over the past few months about Drip specifically.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just start with my background. So, I previously I studied finance and computer science in school. I worked at BlackRock for like 30 seconds before Ariana Simpson at the time at A16Z stole me away from the clutches of traditional finance, and I went to work at A16Z Crypto. I was an investment partner there, so I was on the investment team investing in crypto startups for I guess about like 3.5 years, maybe a little longer than that, basically through the previous crypto cycle.
Right.
After that, I left to join my brother at his company called Royal, which is Drip is a Royal product, so it's a part of Royal. And so I get to now build. I was investing in crypto companies. Now I get to build crypto products with my brother,
Right.
which is really fun. And so that's sort of like my history. But so right now our main product and our core focus is something called Drip. And you can think of Drip from 2 perspectives. So from the demand side, it's pretty simple. It's just we allow you to connect your AI agent to the top premium financial podcasts and newsletters so that you can use that as context within your agentic trading or agentic investment research workflow that a lot of people are experimenting with. So
Right.
that's the simple thing. But on the back end of it, it's actually a full creator platform in the sense that we are allowing creators and podcasters and writers such as yourself to very easily make their content available and purchasable by AI agents. So behind the scenes, whenever somebody like accesses a podcast transcript or a newsletter through Drip, behind the scenes, the creator of that content is actually getting paid on a pay-per-use basis as agents use their content. And so that's what Drip is at a high level, and I'm sure we'll dive into it deeper. But
Yeah, absolutely. As you rightly mentioned that we've been in touch for past couple of months and I've been using your product, guys. Before I go to the next question, tell me when can I get my payout already? Just
yeah, so
kidding.
we're technically now we're basically we're still building out the back end of that system. So basically to enable creators like yourself that you have earned money and the money's sitting there in sitting there in escrow, but
Yeah.
we just haven't like actually paid it out yet. So hopefully in the next month or so is when we'll do that.
Uh, Please tell me, how can I get payout? What I mean is that can I go and do just direct payout to my bank account, or it's only crypto and stablecoin? How does that happen?
So all payouts are when you make an account, you get a wallet, and all
Right.
payouts are in stablecoins. So you will have stablecoins in a wallet, at which point you'll be able to eventually do whatever you want with that. So if you wanted to transfer it, maybe to your Coinbase account or another crypto wallet, you certainly could. Hopefully, eventually, we'll have, of course, um, uh, withdrawing it to like a normal bank account and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So yeah, that kind of stuff will be available soon.
Why start with only financial information? I mean, do you think that niche, that vertical is big enough for you guys to sustain the whole business? Because again, I know a few, Substacks and a few newsletters that write about finance, and I knew a few podcasts. But other than that, personally, to me, it seems like very niche and small. I write in this vertical because again, my background is in this, and I believe like creating niche content is a very good thing. That's why I went fish niche. But for you guys, I mean, to sustain the business overall in the long term, I think you need a bigger market, no?
So it's a great question, and I'll give you 2 answers. I think the
Yeah.
The first is that just like you said, you focus on a niche area. As a startup, I'm also focusing on a niche area because the use case is very clear of why somebody would want to use these newsletters, and it is
Okay.
to make investments, right? So the use case is very targeted, it's very specific. Um, but there's another reason, which is that a lot of creators on the internet, and I don't have like great data to support this, but I think it's just more something that I've noticed. And there have been some reports here and there, but I can't like point to you like, oh, this great research report
Right.
proves this. But a lot of creators on the internet that make money are typically financial or investment related creators. And the
Mm.
reason for that, right? So when you think about Substack or Beehive or any of these other platforms, the majority of people that charge for subscriptions and actually like get paid a meaningful amount are the financial ones. Why?
Mm.
Because somebody is very willing to pay 10, 50, $100 a month to a financial creator because to them it's an investment, right? If I pay you $100 a month and maybe by reading your newsletter I get some insight that leads to an investment of my own that could return that capital and more, it's
Yeah.
worth it to me, right? Whereas if I was going to pay somebody $10 a month, let's just say for their opinion on pop culture in New York City, I
Yeah.
think that's certainly valid, but
Okay.
it's a lot harder to justify. And so one of the reasons why we're starting this way is I think the willingness to pay for a product like this is primarily going to come from people who are investors, traders, analysts like that versus the average person that maybe just cares about, I don't know, food
Yeah.
culture, for example.
Right, right. No, I totally understand. And I see AI becoming basically another customer for me personally. So until this moment, they didn't have like tools to make the payments, but now maybe through you guys, they have tools to go research and make the payments. But I want to go deeper under the hood. So how things happen under the hood, for example, from the moment when AI discovers, let's say, XYZ newsletter to the moment that it finally pays out to the creator. How do you guys understand how not you actually your AI agents understand like this is the right information, ranking, and etc.
Yeah, so there's uh I'll explain to you the crypto native version. There's
Yeah,
also
let's
like
see.
a off-chain version, but essentially we are an MCP that you can connect into your agent or an API that you can connect into your agent. So if you're using Codex, Claude Code, Hermes, I guess now Grokbot is the new one. If you're using any of these, you can connect to us. And essentially, it's actually quite simple. It's a search engine. So it starts off by saying, let's say, what analysts are talking about SpaceX stock as an example. We are going to then pull in based on all the newsletters that we support, every newsletter that supports SpaceX and show it to you as a menu. So you can see, like, maybe Matt Levine talked about SpaceX, maybe you, Sam, talked about SpaceX or Coinbase or another stock that someone was interested in. And then the agent or the user can look at that menu and decide, I want to purchase these 3 articles. I want to unlock these 4. I want to unlock these 10, whatever it is. Once they do that, your agent gets the article. So it gets all that context to then use to make decisions. The way
Okay.
that the payments work is that every one of these articles is behind an X402 or MPP endpoint. And so these are both payment protocols. So
Yeah.
agents with wallets can pay for content with stablecoins. And basically, they might pay $1, $5, $10 for one of these articles. The agent gets the content back and now it can use it as context as it pleases. And so that's sort of like how it works under the hood. Yeah.
No, that totally makes sense. So basically, I go and make a search. You show me a bunch of newsletters. Then, if I like one, I choose myself. So it's not you guys choosing the information particularly, but you are just showing the options, and the creator of AI agent or maybe my agent will go and choose one. But it's up to my agent to decide how to and which one to choose. Do I understand correctly?
Yeah, so what we've built is a really simple layer where through your agent, through your Claude, can do whatever you want. So let's say you wanted to approve every purchase, like as a person.
Okay. All
You
right.
wanted to, before it buys any articles, you want to just review which ones it's going to buy. Your agent does that by default. Okay, that's the default. But if you said, and I've built this, don't ask me for permission. You do the search and you buy the articles with it and just do it yourself. It
Yeah,
can do that too, right? Your agent will just follow your instruction. Whereas, but under the hood,
I
it is
see.
we just built that core thin um, layer so
Yeah.
that you and your agent can interact with it however you please. You can have more control, you can have less control. It's completely up to you and how you control your agent.
I remember first time we connected, I asked you this question: how can you protect me as a creator? Because look, AI agent can go and then basically download the full article, right, and then redistribute it to like a 10,000 AI agents out there, right, basically without my permission. And you may argue saying like, yeah, I mean, even if we are not there, anyone can go and do the same. Exactly. Yes, I understand the logic, but are there any ways of protecting the creator on the platform?
So something new that we're sort of rolling out, we are sort of realizing this that actually, if you use our system,
All right.
you may get more value out of your posts than
Okay.
via a subscription, and I'll explain to you why.
Yeah.
So just to back up for a second, if you subscribe, I believe in the whole vision of this company, right? Is that agents are not going to subscribe to things, but they're going to just pay for things on a pay per use basis as needed. Okay, so if
Yeah.
they want your specific article on Visa or whatever, they are just going to pay for that article and they're going to use it. Now, what's interesting, right, is if I subscribe to you, Sam, out of curiosity, how much is your paywall subscription? I know you're on the platform, but I'm not
Yeah.
remembering how
Yeah.
much.
It's a 9.99 euros per month.
Okay, so if I went right now and paid like 10 euros, let's just round
Yeah.
up, right,
Yeah.
for your subscription, I can actually download all of your historical data that you've published to
Exactly.
date
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
for and distribute it. And what happens, right, is that what that means is that the per article price of any one of your articles decays over time, right? Because
Mm.
if I can pay $99 just to get everything in your history, which actually at the limit, right? I'm not actually paying for your history. I'm paying for your next article you haven't released yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in theory, when I subscribe, the per article price I'm paying is every month that goes by that I don't subscribe, your per article price goes down. Now, but on Drip, what we'll do is we're going to look at your subscription and we'll do some
Okay.
simple math. So we'll say, okay, let's say you publish 10 articles a month,
Okay.
and your monthly subscription is $10 a month. That means that every article should be worth $1, right? That is effective price per article, right? And so we're going to charge that price across every article that you've ever published, hands down.
Mm.
So if I go and want to purchase your article from 10 months ago, I'm going to pay $1 on Drip, right? No matter what. The agent's going to pay $1 to access that because that's your price per article. But
Yeah.
via a subscription, you're not actually getting $1, right? When I subscribe to
I'm
you for nine
getting.
dollars a month, it's decaying, right? It's every month that goes by. It's because I'm getting more and more access to all your stuff for one price. So,
Right.
in other words, when you ask me how do we protect the writer, in a weird sort of way, you could make more on your historical catalog via
Mm.
Drip than you would from a subscription.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. And on the other hand, I also want to understand like one side of the things is creator, just on myself, but you guys also need to make money, right? How are you
Yes,
guys making money? Because otherwise, I mean, what's
of
the meaning of
course.
creating the platform?
Well, I think the simple way is like we're the infrastructure we're the marketplace that connects creators and agents, and like most marketplaces, we take a fee, and so every transaction that flows through us, we take a fee of that. What that fee is, we're still sort of trying to determine. It's still early
All
days,
right.
right? Technically today it's zero. Technically today
Okay.
it's zero, but eventually that's how we'll make money. Is we'll make money based off of we'll take a fee of every single agent purchase of every article on our platform.
Michael, while you were explaining, here's another question that came to my mind. So, look, um, let's say you guys are subscribing to 10 Substacks, right? Like $10 each per month. But let's say analysts that's doing the analysis through the AI agents that they have, they never use, let's say, nine out of those 10 Substacks. Then you are basically at loss. Do I understand correctly? Or are you going to make the purchase only once there is a request to certain Substack information?
I think like You're right in theory today,
Okay.
because we're just trying to build up a big library of newsletters that we support. But I think like in the future, like it won't work that way, right? In the future, the way that I hope this pans out, right, is that writers come to us, they want to be on our platform, they publish stuff on our platform, and it's not like we're necessarily subscribing to them. We're just like another publishing platform within their stack. So what you sort of mentioned is definitely true today,
Yeah.
but I think that's more just how we're bootstrapping the company versus something that'll stick like that long term.
And how do you choose which Substacks or newsletters or podcasts to include on the platform? At the moment, I remember that you guys reached out to me because I didn't know that you exist. Honestly, I didn't know that you exist, and you reached out to me. And how do you decide which one to include and which one not?
So today it's totally curated. It's
Okay.
just our own, based on our own opinion, and I think we have to keep it that way for now, at least, because we want the resources to be high quality. I remember, I think when I first put your newsletter on the platform, for whatever reason, I think like one of your newsletters got a lot of purchases very, very quickly early on because like
Right.
some announcement that happened in the public. And I feel like it was a Visa reporter or maybe something
Right.
like that. Right. And
Right.
it was like a very in-depth view on a specific company, which is a unique type of newsletter because a lot of the newsletters that we support are like stock picks, right? Or,
Right.
or people that are doing like more market analysis versus like,
Right.
here's an in-depth review on this company and what they're building. Right. So I
Right.
think we want to, of course, have a diverse range of types of newsletters on here.
Right. Look, I also would like to get your opinion on one of the latest news. Stripe bought OpenRouter, right?
Yes.
Because again, now everyone is trying to optimize their AI costs. And here's the question: since you guys are also in this economy, basically, what are your costs? Because again, you are using a lot of AI in the background. Do I understand correctly? And are you optimizing basically your costs as well?
So what's interesting, right, is so technically today when you buy an article on Drip, what you're getting is a really intense summary of the article. So we
All
use
right.
AI to like put like as it's through a pipeline of importing, running things through AI to extract certain information and just make it more queryable in our database and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so we do use AI, but actually, even though we are technically like branded as like I guess you could call it like an AI crypto company,
Right.
I would expect that most people are going to be using our data in their own AI systems, in their own agents. So in their own Claude, in their own Codex, in their own Grok. We are not providing the inference, right? We're providing the raw context. And so technically our users are going to be the ones paying for inference because they're going to be the ones taking our context, creating their trading analysts with their own inference and all of that. We don't, that's not necessarily a cost that we are bearing today. That
Okay.
being said, there is certainly a world where the product is such that we are hosting, like instead of using Drip from your own agent harness, we are hosting the agent harness yourself. So you're on our website, you're asking questions to our agent, and you're interacting with it. Of course, in that sense, then yeah, we'll be paying the cost. But I've actually found that there's more usage from our product from people taking our plugin and putting it where they're already spending a lot of time with their agents versus
Oh, I
coming to
see.
our website and like we have a chatbot on our website that integrates with Drip that you can like it's like a playground, you can test it out. It's like a demo, but
Right.
honestly most usage is not through there today, which is
So
surprising.
what is the biggest use case at the moment on the platform? Is it only like for let's say stock analysis, or do you see some other use case that potentially help you guys in the future then expand beyond maybe current current verticals that you have?
So it's still early days, and so I'm not going to lie and say we have like thousands of customers, but with the few people that we do have using our product, I think the biggest use case is this thing we have called stock picks. So
Okay.
what that is that every when a lot of people subscribe to these newsletters, what they really want is the stock pick. They just want to know what's the ticker symbol that this guy said and why in like
Mm.
one sentence so that they can, put it in their trading bot. And so what we did is when we ingest all of this data every day, we create a very uh, structured report of every single stock pick and stock mention and or position change. So if an analyst sold it, bought it, is it high conviction, low conviction, the exact sentence where they said it in like I guess you could call it like a spreadsheet, right? Like a very
Yeah.
structured report that is across all the newsletters on our platform. So instead of me saying I only care about what Sam's saying, this is like throughout the whole universe of these newsletters. What are the stock picks today?
Mm.
And it's like a bundle of information, and a lot of people are using that specifically. Now, under the hood, when you query that, of course, all the writers are getting they're getting paid, right? But it's
Right.
not like I'm saying I want Sam's article. It's saying across all the articles, give me this bundle of information. And under the hood, all the writers still get paid. It's the same thing I said before, but from an API perspective, the user is only getting this structured report of stock picks, right? That's all they care about. And
Right.
so that's interesting to me because what it's showing, right, is I might be a user, excuse me, I might be a user
Yeah.
goes and like I only care about these writers. I want to compare and contrast their reviews. I want to synthesize across them, and my AI is going to do an amazing job at that. But there are other users that just like, I want the stock picks. That's all I care about. And so it's showing me that maybe there's actually a lot of value in bundles of information that are kind of more curated and structured versus just like throwing raw article text at an agent and letting it analyze it.
Michael, you remember at one of our previous conversations, I said that there was another company reaching out to me because they are doing very similar stuff. And, one of the things that we discussed with them actually was they were saying, so they are basically looking for the information that's verifiable. So not some random stuff, because again, you can produce some random stuff and put a on Substack and put a paywall, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's useful information, right? Um, in your case, you said yes. It's our customers who decides what content to choose, what to read. But do you somehow verify if that information is reliable? If that content that you guys are showing to, let's say, potential reader is, reliable, or some random? Okay, sorry for my word, BS from internet.
Well, look, that's why today all of the news sources that we have are we choose them, right? They're curated.
Curated, yeah,
We're,
yeah,
we're
yeah,
not just like scraping every new thing and putting it on there. Like it's very much
exactly.
reputable in the sense of I've heard these names before, or maybe I've
Yeah,
read them before myself. So yeah, it's just we're just kind of hand curating it right now. But like I think long term, the vision is to have an open marketplace.
exactly.
And so that's the big opportunity in my view. But like of course today it's handpicked, hand curated.
No, when it's handpicked, it's a good. Yes, I understand because again, you guys, as you said, you are reviewing, but in the long term, you won't be able to do that all the time. It will be
Of
quite
course.
difficult, challenging as you grow, as you become bigger. So, do you think ultimately, at one point, you will, let's say, build some sort of a tool, maybe integrated with, let's say, Pangram, to understand if it's AI created
Yes.
content. However, but there is a moment we have to also understand that even AI created content sometimes is useful because again, we have to use maybe AI to do the analysis. I personally use AI to do the analysis of my articles and
Yeah.
things like this, for example. And
Yeah.
then, yeah,
Well, we just got one new writer on the platform who it's called Podcast Alpha, and what he does is even though you can get podcasts through our through our API, he
right.
looks at podcasts and through AI analyzes the transcripts and comes up with like really great stock reports from these podcasts and then publishes it as a newsletter. So yeah, it's AI generated, but it's
It's
great content.
exactly.
It's
It's
great content, and
exactly.
I totally want that on my
Ah.
platform. So I don't like just because it's AI doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad.
Right, right. I totally like this idea. So, very interesting. Never thought about this. AI going doing analysis and putting the content out there. That's very very interesting. So, I also would like to touch the point of AI economy in general, because again, we had a conversation with CEO of Skyfire, and he. If I remember correctly, he said like it's already 50% or more of the traffic is created by
Yeah,
bots on the web. So do you believe at one point we'll have only like machines communicating with one another, just like as the use case you mentioned just now? Because again, it's the real use case. I can potentially create a bot that does exactly the same what you said just now, and then put out the content out there and earn money in this way, basically. So what are your predictions in that direction?
So I'll answer it through by an example, which is I think
Yeah, let's
the
do it.
world is going to end up where everybody has like only 3 apps on their phone,
Okay.
and it's going to be a messaging app so you could call and talk to your friends. It's going to be TikTok, so you have
Okay.
entertainment,
Right.
and or TikTok slash e-commerce like that, like shopping based on entertaining content, things like that.
Right.
And
Right.
then you're going to have your AI assistant or your chat interface, so chat GPT, and you're going to do everything through that. You're going to
Yeah.
interact with your finances through it. You're going to search the web through it.
Mm,
You're going to take action through it. And if that's the case, then yeah, 100% of internet traffic will be via an AI agent of some form. And so
right.
yeah, I think that's where we're going. I mean, here's the thing. I could be wrong, and that might not happen. The only data that I have to support that is like my own personal usage of this stuff. I find myself spending my entire day in
Okay.
Claude, Codex, all of these apps. Everything I do is through them. I don't go to websites anymore. I don't browse. I'll give the website to my agent to go figure out what to do, but like I won't do it myself.
Wow.
So if I'm doing that already and the stuff's really only been this powerful for 6 months,
Right.
boy, I could only imagine what's going to happen in a year or two from now.
Look, for the drip, when it comes to drip, what are the most important metrics for you guys at the moment and for the next 6 months?
I think right now the most important metric for me is to just get active users that are consistently buying articles. I think
Okay.
there's always one I think challenge I'm noticing with a research type product is research is not inherently a recurring behavior. So for example, you might come to Drip with a specific question today, like what analysts are talking about SpaceX and what they're saying about SpaceX, and you might get a nice answer based on our
Yeah.
system from that,
Yeah.
but then you're done. Like you're not coming back tomorrow and asking that question again, right? Like you just kind of got it, you used it, you got your answer, and now you'll move on with your life, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
a challenge, right, is figuring out what types of research is recurring, right? And obviously, for a trading bot, getting all the stock picks every day is a very important recurring behavior, right? If you're a bot looking for alpha, you want the stock picks every single day, right? Or
Yeah.
if you wanted like a market overview daily brief that you get every morning, that's a very recurring research question that you're going to want every day. And so,
Yeah.
me trying to figure out what are the things that investment analysts or traders want every day versus
Okay.
the one-off questions is something I'm thinking a lot about.
And do you guys work only with Substack and let's say Beehive and similar newsletters, or like you are integrated to major publishing companies, Bloomberg, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, etc.?
We are focusing primarily on the independent publishers. And
Oh, I
so
see.
we don't have Bloomberg or Wall Street Journal today. I mean, it's certainly something we could add in the future, but we're really focused on the independent analysts such as yourself that are on the internet doing great research outside of these big companies. That is where I think the most value lies.
Oh, well, why? But look, in my opinion, personally, my personal opinion, because again, I also read a lot of news on daily basis. And as you said, for example, let's say maybe with analysts like myself, people may come to get the information once and then move on and forget. But when it comes to, let's say, Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, FT, and others, I mean, the news comes every day. Some updates comes every day. Isn't it like a better to go and integrate with those guys and put their content on the platform as well? Um, what do you
I
think?
think it comes back to the niche thing that you're talking about, which is like I have read many Wall Street Journal articles about crypto,
All right.
and I can tell you right now that these like, yes, it's Wall Street Journal,
Yeah.
but like the guy who's writing it isn't a crypto expert necessarily, right? They're not as deep in crypto as
I
someone like
see.
you. Like you
I
think about
see.
it every day, right? And so
Right.
I care more about what you have to say than what
Okay.
the guy was assigned to cover at Wall Street Journal. So yes,
Mm,
they're big names, but and look, we're seeing this happen. Like there is right now in finance, there is the rise of the independent analyst. It
yeah.
is a huge trend. You have people like Citrini and Michael Burry and Lynn Alden and all these guys. They move markets,
Exactly. I
right?
remember what
They
happened with.
publish a stock. It's up 10% the next day. They're doing things like I think Citrini, right? He sent someone to the Strait of Hormuz, right? Like they are doing incredible research. You're not getting that at the New York Times, right? You're
I,
you're, you're not getting that quality of depth, right? And dedication. And so for me, at least personally, look, I'm a trader. I'll be honest with you. I have never personally read Wall Street Journal, business news, general business news as a part of my personal research flow ever. I have
okay,
like CNBC in the background when I'm
all right.
in my day to listen to it, but really I'm spending my time. All the ideas I get are from reading people like Ben Thompson, Matt
Mm.
Levine, specific podcasts that I listen to, like Adam Taggart. And these independent analysts and guys that are going on there that are super deep, and it's higher quality information. I'm getting more value out of it than like the extreme surface level stuff I'll get from the big publishing platforms.
Michael, would you say then in that case, and Drip as well as AI, basically democratizing access to data, democratizing, let's say, content market or creator economy? Because again, we are effectively, I mean, creators just like myself, effectively are competing against, let's say, those big names that I just mentioned, right?
Yeah, I 100% would say that is the case, and also I would say that some of the problems that we're solving it's like a convenience problem, which is the cool thing is I have a lot of independent analysts like you that I respect and appreciate and want to read. The problem is there might be 20 of you, and that means that I have to go read 20 emails in my inbox every day, which is a lot, right?
It's
Or
a
I have to
lot.
listen to
It's a lot.
10 or 11 podcasts every week that might be 45 minutes to an hour each. That's a lot of human time and energy
Yeah,
to suck in. And plus, when some of the analysts look just naturally going to talk about the same thing or to talk about the same topic. And so I have already, found that putting all that stuff in AI to ingest all that content, synthesize it, and give me the guts of pieces of information I need, it saves me time and it saves me money, right? And
right.
that's where it comes from, right? And so in order to do that, there needs to be some way to connect all of these independent analysts
Yeah,
into my AI system easily so that the AI can do what it does best, which is synthesize information. And that's why
exactly.
we're building Drip. That's the reason. And so, yes, democratizing all this and sort of making it easier for someone to research across all of it is really interesting to me, and I think a really cool problem to solve.
Right. Michael, I really appreciate you guys creating this platform, as I said, because again, this basically opens the door for AI to come and read my content and basically for me to benefit again from the AI economy. And to my listeners, if you are also on Substack or you have, I mean, niche content, niche newsletter, maybe you will go and try Drip and see how that works for you. Michael, really appreciate you coming on the show and thank you for your time.
Thanks, Sam. This was great.